Some wonderful things have happened on YouTube, and one of the most wonderful recently is that one of the poets whose poetry I read a couple months ago, Nicholas Christopher, and I'll attach that video to this video, actually found me reading his poem on YouTube and contacted me, which I think is wonderful. Thank you for doing that. I hope that Lucille Clifton and everybody else that I end up reading follow suit, because I love you guys. I admire you. I admire your work and your words, and that's great. So anyway, Nicholas Christopher found my poem, thanked me for reading his poem, which, gosh, thank you for writing it. And anyway, he sent me another one, which I love as well. This is a poem written about September 11th, and I'll actually read what he wrote to me, the letter that he wrote to me. It says, I thought you might like to see the following poem, which originally appeared in the New Yorker in 2002 and in some anthologies, and then was published in my book, Crossing the Equator, New and Selected Poems, 1972 to 2004 by Harcourt. I live in New York City and was actually working on an early version of this poem, which had gone through many drafts, on the morning of 9/11. I lived in Lower Manhattan, and from my work studio heard the first plane go due south down Fifth Avenue. I stood in the street with my neighbors when the second plane hit, and we watched both buildings come down. I never did see it on television. My sole memory of it was watching from less than a mile away on a crisp, clear morning. The following week, I finally completed this poem. Very eerie the way it happened. Usually I have no idea when and where I wrote various poems, but not this time. At any rate, here it is. And I'm going to say the name, but I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Laódikê was the sister of Hektor, a minor character in the Iliad, an innocent who is slaughtered during the siege of Troy, what they call today collateral damage, an Orwellian term if ever there was one. Best to you, and keep up your fine work, Nicholas. So here it is, the poem, The Last Hours of Laódikê, Sister of Hektor, a poem of September 11th. And thank you again, Nicholas Christopher, for sending it to me. Cold missiles and a rain of embers accompany the men who slide like shadows into the city, faces mud-smeared, stones for teeth, no eyes, who slit the throats of everyone they encounter until, breaking down my door, they drag me into the darkness that floods the corridor and lock me in an icy chamber where a torch of thorns sputters and a man more bone than flesh is playing music old as time itself on a flute, and a girl clutching her knees burns with fever before I apply a square of moonlight to her brow, before she whispers her name, my name, both of us falling now. The room is falling too, and the city, and no one hears our cries, just the dead waiting in a bottomless canyon, and the sound relentless of the gods grinding this world to dust.